my name is Evan Frank. This is a video response to one of the essay questions in the IE Business School admission application. The question is, what do I like to do and how is it beneficial? The two things that I think are most important that I like to do are music and travel. Music has played a huge role in my life. I played the piano before I could walk, and so much so that I even majored in it in my undergraduate studies. Music is beneficial in so many different ways. Number one, of course, is discipline. My average practice day was 6 to 10 hours. Adaptability. I would have to accompany so many different people, and in music school, we were assigned people at random to accompany, and some of these people were not performance majors. They would be music industry majors or other things. And because of that, a lot of times they would not be the best performers, so they would skip measures, skip pages, go all over the place. And I, on the spot, had to find where they were and adapt and respond in real time, on stage, in front of people. And having to do that for 8 semesters really ingrained that sense of adaptability in me. Moreover, memory. For a 1-hour program, I would have to memorize about 20,000 notes of music. Having to memorize almost everything I played really helps me to remember things all the time with everything. Language. When I look at a piece of music, when I'm looking at this page of music, this is essentially an intellectual representation of an emotional conveyance. Music, to me at least, is a conveyance of emotion. It's what the composer was trying to feel. So, you know, I played a Mozart sonata, the A minor sonata. He wrote it after his mother died. And I lost my father not until later when I was in law school, but I've played the piece since then. And Mozart felt the same thing that I felt. And to me, that's amazing, you know, that I can play that piece and express the exact same emotion that Mozart felt. That's just incredible to me. But to be able to take this articulation of that emotion and translate it, because I have to know what all the notes and signs and symbols and everything mean, and I have to be able to translate that technically, but also to find an underlying meaning, to, if I find a beautiful passage in here, understand why it's beautiful, what's behind it, what is the composer trying to say, try to tell the listener. And it's up to me to determine what that is, and then to add my own voice to it, and to manifest that with my fingers on the keyboard. So it adds another level of translation, and practicing this so much over so many years has really made learning new things, new languages, cultures, all kinds of things habitual, natural. When I go to Europe or Asia or Africa or wherever, I pick up things much easier than I would had I not studied music, of course. Collaboration. Working with a chamber group or an orchestra is, to me, the ultimate collaboration, the ultimate in teamwork, you know, because we have, in a, let's say, a piano quintet, we have 5 people that are all playing together as one and performing as one. That's the epitome of collaboration. Having perseverance. In my undergraduate studies, I unfortunately suffered an injury to my right hand, but I finished my degree with my left hand alone. There are many pieces written for left hand alone. I love music, and I wanted to pursue my dream, so I continued to do it, and I finished my degree with only my left hand. And in law school, I had all kinds of other hardships, but you know, it was because I knew I could overcome hardship because of what I went through with the piano that I was able to overcome the hardships that I had in law school. I attribute all of that to the piano. You know, the other thing is with piano also comes teaching. As a pianist, as a musician, with a degree in it, I taught piano, and in teaching I learned patience, definitely patience, and creativity, because I'm dealing with all levels. I taught all levels from 5 until 75. I taught a 5-year-old autistic student and a 75-year-old blind student. So finding a creative way to teach a 75-year-old blind person how to play Bach on the piano was not only inspiring, but challenging. And it was fascinating going through all different methods. I mean, it was a little bit of trial and error, but I found ways to do it, and that was really exciting, and it was a lot of fun. You know, creativity, not only in teaching, but in piano itself. You know, I've played transcriptions and interpretations of different pieces, and being able to have my own voice and to take a transcription, a piece that was written for violin and transcribed for left hand alone. I played a piece by Brahms for left hand alone. It was originally written by Bach for violin. And so there's a lot of freedom, a lot of leeway for me to insert my own interpretation and to execute things in, you know, my own manner. And finding ways to do this was just so exciting, and it's a way of kind of adding my own voice and carving my own path. And I've always been a huge advocate of that. Not to mention that piano, like most art forms, transcends cultural barriers. There are no borders with respect to music. There are no language barriers with respect to music. I can play something, for example, the piece that Mozart wrote after his mother died, and everybody in the world has experienced this emotion. Everybody, regardless of where they come from or what their background is. I can play that and tell somebody, or I don't even have to tell somebody what it means. They can feel it. And it creates an instant bond with people. And that's why traveling also is of paramount importance to me. I've been to many countries. I'm not going to go through the entire list, but I've immersed myself in countries. I've done the tour thing, you know, I've gone on the guided tours and such, but I don't feel that I got a real experience of that culture by doing that. So in the past number of years, and even when I was younger, I made friends on my travels, and I would go back and I'd stay with them, stay with their families. This past year, I spent New Year's in Denmark with my friend's family in Skiva. He's now starting an opera festival in Skiva. It's very exciting, and we're putting this whole thing together. My other friend in Salzburg, I spent time with him. I just came back from a month in Europe. I was in Bologna with another friend of mine. I went with only about $1,000 in my pocket, and it was just an amazing trip. We even got, I was alone, got entrance to Christmas Mass in St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. And I mean, what an amazing experience. It allows me to relate to people, to any people. And I find that I'm able to do that no matter where I am or who I'm with. I attribute all of that to traveling, and a lot of the traveling aspect has to do with music, because if it weren't for the piano, I wouldn't have made so many friends. I mean, my friend in Salzburg is an opera singer. My friend in Denmark is a composer. This is just the nature of music. It's international, and that's why I think IE is a perfect place. It gives me an opportunity to carve my own path in an international setting in Spain, where I've been many times. My stepmother is from Spain. I speak Spanish. I love it there. And on my travels, I like to see the people. So this is about what I like to do, and I'd like to show you what I like to do. So I could play a little something right now, but I think it's better that you watch this little presentation.